Welcome to Discovering. 30-mile-an-hour winds and at least 40 below with the wind chill. It's once again time for my annual trip to Mark Martin's Ice Fishing Vacation School on Lake Gogebic.
That's a nice perch there, man.
Look at that guy. Man, these perch in this system are just unbelievable. Some of the most impressive perch I've seen in years, man. I mean, every perch we're catching is big.
Oh, yeah. Really nice, that's for sure.
Horses, barnyard animals.
Got one hand right here, too.
That's all tonight, so sit back where it's warm, put your feet up. It's Monday night and time for Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
Ice fishing is a popular sport here in the UP and a great way to get out and enjoy the winter. Obviously, equipment, tackle, and techniques differ considerably when the top of the lake is frozen. To learn more about it, I traveled to Timbers Resort in Berglund on the north shore of Lake Gogebic for Mark Martin's annual Ice Fishing Vacation School. Day one was cold and windy and cold. I had the opportunity to spend some time in a shack with Mark and pick his brain about ice fishing.
We're back here at another one of my ice fishing vacation schools this year. Confiscated one of my pro staff's otter tents here and sent him off to my other big otter tent to help some other students out here. So. Oh yeah, there you go. Pull them right up out of the hole. There you go. All right, on the buckshot, huh?
Yep.
Northland buckshot. Excellent lure. All right.
We're talking about. So I came and started doing the class and learned the techniques, and one of the classic techniques was just bouncing it off the bottom, and they're supposed to come, and boy, I tell you what, that's exactly what happened. It was just in a second. I came to learn how to walleye fish. I'm not a walleye fisherman, I'm a pike spearer. And I see walleyes in the hole all the time, and I've never been able to hook them up and never knew that technique. There'll be some walleyes in trouble now.
Well, there's a nice little one anyway. Not a big one, but...
People, they ask me, well, why can't you use your, summertime rods? Well, I was out on the ice and I didn't have a shelter, it was a fairly nice day, and I'm fishing for bigger fish, maybe trout.
Another one back down the hole.
Pike, something that is a bigger fish where I'm going to have, bigger lures. I'm going to be working bigger lures. A longer rod is just fine and dandy. I mean, I've used long rods out on the ice. I've used 8-foot rods out on the ice before, but I was fishing brown trout and steelhead, and when the salmon came in. That's a good one.
Yeah, he jigged her right in. He worked him right up there.
All right.
Not too many 11-year-olds know how to run a Markham, and
You're not going to go out there and perch fish with real long rods in the wintertime because, you're going to have a little tiny spring bobber or something that has a really fine tip. Bigger fish you go fishing for, you can get away like with salmon and pike, something that they'll actually bend that little rod right there as good as a perch can bend that little piece of wire right there. So just remember, if you're going to fish for small fish on the ice, you probably should be downsizing.
I was sitting up here and it was down there and picked up my pole and jigged up and hit me.
I've never caught one of these big guys before, but they feel like something too coming up.
Oh yeah, they feel like a walleye, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Fight.
Yep. I got the big one first, and then this one come about 2 minutes later.
What?
I'm running one of them orange Rapalas, the little smaller one.
The little 2 or 3.
Yeah, and I think it's a little 3, and my God, them are some slabs.
You're downsizing your offerings too a lot of times through the ice, little teardrops and little offerings, and they like that small stuff because they're feeding on little bugs at this time of year in the mud. They're feeding on little bugs swimming around. Once in a while they get a steak and they find a little minnow or something that was hiding out and still alive and hasn't been eaten up by another fish. So
we're perch fishing today. We've been doing some walleye fishing, but today we decided to concentrate on the perch. And we're talking a little bit about the baits that we're using. And one is what I call a locator bait or a search bait. This is a number 2 jigging Rapala. It's an active bait. It works good for searching for fish and also for bringing fish in. If you'll notice, I got the jig, the bottom of the bait tipped with 2 small spikes, okay? This here is a fly larvae. It's about half of the size of the waxworm. Typically, this is what I'm going to be using. I usually tip 2 of those on my jig or my bait at one time and just let them dangle on the treble hook on the bottom. So many times the fish will come into that bait, and when you stop it, it's dangling on them trebles on the bottom, and they'll come up and they'll just nip at that little grub on there, or that little spike that's on there, and you nip them. They're not necessarily taking the whole bait, they're just grabbing that grub, and that's when you get them. And in the other hole, I'm jigging a smaller bait. This one here in particular is a rat finky, and it's a glow bait. It's a horizontal jig tipped with a wiggler, which is a mayfly larvae. And many times people see the mayflies that hatch in the summertime. They float to the surface of the water, and when they dry their wings, they fly away. This is the larvae that they come from, and they live in the mud in the bottom of the lake. And you hear us talking about the mud flats of the lake. That's where these little bugs live. That's why the perch are there. Walleyes feed on them as well. But many times the attractor bait, we're jigging to draw the fish in or get their attention. And when you got the wiggler on there, many times that's what they're going to come in and take because that's a natural food for them. If the fish are more aggressive a little bit, they'll grab the larger bait as well, but many times they'll come into that and then they'll take this wiggler instead. Here we have a waxworm, which many fishermen are accustomed to using. This is a bee larvae. It's a little bit larger of a grub. This bait is commonly tipped on a jig or a wrap, just like I was using there. My preference is going to be on the spike for what we're doing right now.
Got one going?
Yeah, got a nice one.
I've seen your rod bending, so I figured better ask you. Well,
That feels like a good one.
boy, it looks like a good one.
Putting up a little fight here.
All right.
Okay.
Wow, it is fighting.
Yeah, I got that.
Wow.
That's that Swedish pimple where I hooked a whole minnow to.
Yeah, were you talking about last night
Yep.
with a little dropper line on it
Yep.
with a minnow on it?
Oh yeah.
It's fighting pretty good.
It's fighting real good.
There
you go, I got him.
Okay.
Oh, he got tangled with the other line.
Another line.
Yeah. But we got him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. Good.
There you go.
Just have that little orange hook. That just happened to be the hook I had. I thought I might need a bigger one, but I've caught 3 walleye on that one, so.
Yeah, there you go. I know that's going to turn into a fish stick real quick.
It will.
Other thing that we did here today, we downsized on the line. Mike put another reel on, and he's got some 4-pound test on there. You can go down to 1 and 2 pound if you wanted to, but 4, because there's walleyes in here too. And you don't know if you're going to get one, so we split the difference between 6 and 2 pound and put 4 pound on today. So you just got to look at your situations, what type of fish may be here, and there's probably some pike here too. So 4 pounds going to be more than adequate if you got your drag or you're prepared with a good reel, and you want to downsize on your reels too when you're fishing so that it doesn't outbalance. It's a nice little balanced outfit right here. It balances when it's in my hand right here, so that I'm not really gripping that rod, that ice rod. I'm just holding it and cupping it in my hand. As you see, it balances right there with just the weight of the reel and the rod tip right out there.
Nice fish coming up, feels like a nice one. Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's a good
Another one.
So yeah, so I'm over getting lessons from Bear from
Bear's 9 Pine Resort here. It's one of the pro staff.
Bear, you got
and,
something?
looks like we got something else going here.
What do you got going there, Bear?
I don't know, it feels pretty nice.
All right. Come over here just at the right time here.
Oh, that's a whitefish.
Oh,
Look at
whitefish.
that.
Holy smokes. That's pretty cool.
It's a whitey.
That's a nice one.
That's a nice bonus, huh?
Well, you don't see them very often.
No, you don't see a whole lot of them.
Oh.
There's a nice double.
Nice whitefish and a nice perch. You come over out of your shack and come over here.
Yep.
You're just bouncing all around catching fish, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a good morning.
Yeah, really.
Very good morning.
The one nice thing about it, I made some frisbees here and cut little slots in them so that hopefully it's not as bad as it really looks here. But I'm sure it's been way below 0 here today. A little frozen underneath there. Got him. Look at that. A walleye. He set the hook himself. All I had to do was see him here. Well, it's a little too small, but it's a start right there.
About 14 inches, 13 inches.
We'll put him in before he turns solid. There he goes.
You have to have all the bait too, when you go out fishing in the wintertime. I have right here, I got wigglers, I got waxworms, I got spikes, I got sucker minnows, I got fatheads, and some of this stuff that we've been doing the last few days, I've been using a whole little sucker this big on a tip up. I've been using fatheads on tip ups. I've been using a really teeny fatheads when I'm jigging with a spoon out here for all of the fish from perch to walleye to pike.
We have a variety of minnows that we use out here. The fathead minnow. Actually, there's 2 species of fathead minnows. Toughies are just a little bit bigger, running about 2.5 to 3 inches, and the fatheads are 1.5 to 2 inches. And then we also like to use the white sucker minnow. It's your typical bait for walleye fishing here on Lake Gogebic. Here's a jigging rapala, and it's got this blade here on the back, so you're jigging this pretty aggressively, and when you do that upward motion, it will swim out, swim around and circle and come back, and you can tip that with a minnow head on this bottom hook here, or you can tip this with the waxworm or spikes. And what I like to do is drop this down in bottom and just start banging bottom with it, just whipping bottom and getting that dust all whipped up there, that plume. This is a size 3 jigging wrap. Size 3 is what I'm using for perch fishing, and you can go to the larger sizes for the walleye. You can get pretty aggressive with this lure. It's a swimming bait, so it's circling around, and let it settle down for a minute or two and start jigging again. Jig I'm using here, a little teardrop. This is actually tungsten steel. It's heavier than normal lead jig, and I will tip that with some wigglers. What I'm doing these wigglers is going in on the belly side, right behind their head, and you can even garb it up and get 2-3 of them on there. Give them a meal while they're down there. When they're down there, they'll be moving around, and this is the main forage that these perch are feeding on, are the wigglers. That's why it's my #1 go-to bait for perch fishing. This is a Lindy Frosty spoon, and I got this thing just totally garbed up with these wigglers on there. This one's a chartreuse on the back side there with a glow perch. What I like to do with this is I just get it down in the bottom and I start banging bottom real hard. That's stirring up the bottom. And then I'll lift it up and see if anything comes in. It's a way to draw fish in. Sitting next to me, I got another dead stick, and that's just hanging a couple feet off bottom. But what I like to do is continually jigging here. You know, we're banging bottom, trying to call fish in, stir up that dust down there. Those perch want to come in, see what the heck's going on, see if somebody else is feeding or what all the commotion's about. And it's a good way to draw them in. And even though that's a pretty large spoon, we have these gigantic perch in this lake, and they can be pretty aggressive. They're not intimidated by a spoon that size. They'll come in and just whack that. We sell all this bait at the Timbers Resorts. We have a small bait and tackle shop, and I carry the products that are needed to catch fish on Lake Gogebic. I don't have a lot of products that you'd use on Lake Superior or things like that, but I have exactly what you need to catch fish on Lake Gogebic.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go. There it is.
And a buckshot rattle spoon.
And the buckshot, I was kind of targeting walleyes here at the beginning. There we go.
That's a dandy right there.
That's a dandy. About how long is that? About 12 inches or so, I suppose?
It's bigger than 12.
Is it bigger than 12?
Yeah, it's bigger than 12. Yeah, it's probably pushing almost 14, I would say. Yeah. There we go. So you didn't take out much line right there. There he is right there. It's getting about witching time right now. They should all be starting to hit, so we'll get everything reset here. Hopefully catch another one. You can see this thing starting to ice up already just out of the hole, so I'll quickly get them undone here and get them back down. Look at how fast that is. You don't want to get them hurt. That's how bad it is. Look at that.
This is the biggest perch of my life. This is what you come to Lake Gogebic for. I am telling you what, this is a monster. I cannot believe the size of this perch. That is crazy.
Well, that's a dandy. Got him on that golden orange jig and wrap.
The jig and wrap does it again.
The spikes.
This is day 2 of Mark Martin's Ice Fishing Vacation School. I'm Mike Schneider. I'm part of the pro staff and just here to.
Dandy, Mike.
I cannot believe it. The biggest perch of my life. I've never seen one that big.
What, a teeter pig?
This is a teeter pig. He showed up, and that's the first fish I've seen in a while. So he showed up, and as soon as he did, I just started to take it away from the teasing him, and it triggered him. He slammed it, no question.
We're not
Number 3 jig and rapala with 2 little spikes on it. Jig and wrap strikes again.
I decided to come back and start jigging here with my buddy Matt Straw. He's over here from the in fishermen trying to partake in some of this action here, but I choose Lake Gogebic for the last few years and stay at Tim and Sarah's place at Timbers Resort because it's so nicely located to town, and in the town of Berglund, really caters to us really good. The writers, and Antonio's has great meals, and it's all you can eat buffets. You can't go wrong with the area. They really cater to the fishermen and the snowmobilers, and it's just kind of a family orientated area here. So if you get a chance, come on up and sample the fish, and you see what the kind of fish that we're catching here in the last couple of days, and come up and partake.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Whoa. Uh-oh. Oh, they're right there. Oh, I thought you got caught on your transducer. Oh, that's a nice perch there, Matt.
Look at that guy. Man, these perch in this system are just unbelievable.
Well, yeah, there's some fish that's been coming through it. That's a nice one.
A fatty. Boy, he's posing for the camera, too. He's got his fin out and everything.
Yeah, they call them teeter pigs here.
Teeter pigs.
Yeah, because when you set them on their belly on the ice, they don't teeter.
Well, these are some of the most impressive perch I've seen in years, man. I mean, every perch we're catching is big.
Oh, yeah. Really nice, that's for sure.
Horses, barnyard animals.
Got one hand right here, sitting here talking and not paying attention. It must be another perch.
Another perch?
Yeah, another perch. Nice perch if it's a perch. Oh, that's not a perch, that's a walleye. Lucky I got him up. Wow, he busted the back hook off of on the ice. Probably got caught on the ice, that back hook right there. Probably a good thing.
Wow, they don't make them like they used to.
Jigging Rapala and a little wiggler on the on the bottom treble hook right there. But that golden orange has been a ticket today for Rapalas, that's for sure. And what was that one on there?
This was on a little gill pill from Custom Jigs and Spins. It's a great little jig for gills and crappies and perch, all kinds of panfish. Really nice little jig.
Everybody, if you want to come up and catch perch and walleye up here at Lake Gogebic, I wouldn't waste no time getting here.
Well, that's it for tonight. If you'd like to keep tabs on what's coming up on Discovering or see where we've been, you can join us on Facebook or go to 906outdoors.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week right here on Discovering.